Well, hello. I'm really sorry that I can't join you there in person today. Keith has been a great advocate for this event and tried to get me to come. I would have been, except that I've had to attend the European Space Agency Summit in Seville, from where I'm speaking to you today. Look, I wanted to send you my very best wishes for this really important event and just say something in particular about AI and the potential of AI in healthcare. And I know that you're going to be debating AI in orthopaedics, and I really look forward to your thoughts following this event. You may have seen last week, as we convened the world's first global summit on AI safety, we also made a series of announcements about deploying AI across the UK. And that was part of signalling that, as well as getting everyone together to think about the risks and make sure that we properly map out the longer term threats around regenerative AI, the really deep large language models, and the potential risk that people in the industry have asked that government take seriously. We also wanted to signal that we are very supportive of AI and its benefits already being demonstrated today across multiple sectors of society, public services and the economy. And that's why we announced a whole series of packages last week, including, as you may have seen, £100 million for AI in healthcare. And this is one that I'll be working very closely on as Minister of State for Science, Research and Innovation. And I particularly wanted to highlight some thoughts about AI and some of my thinking on where we're going to be looking to deploy that funding. You may or may not be aware that actually before I came into Parliament, I worked in biomedical research, and during a career that spanned 4 or 5 years in early stage venture capital, 4 years running a toxicology prediction software, silicon chemistry reformulation business that we sold ultimately to Takeda, and then 7 years working around the UK putting together partnerships between industry, life science industry, hospitals and university research institutes and centres in the UK, in Scotland, Wales and across England, not just in Cambridge but UCL in London, in Manchester, Leicester, Liverpool, around the country. The company that I ran myself in the middle of that was using very basic AI. I mean, I hesitate to say AI now in the context of the sort of technology that's available. I would refer to it now as an algorithm with an elastic band, but it was still very basic AI. We were simply training an algorithm to detect the molecular structures of compounds which had been shown to be toxic in the pharmacopoeia of compounds available to us, and then training the language model to identify potential molecular traits, biomarkers if you like, of toxicity in compounds. And then we trained the same piece of software to predict the pharmacokinetic profile of the new compounds that we put together. So it was very basic application of AI, but the truth is, in the last 15, 20 years since we were doing that, AI has come on in leaps and bounds and is being used across medicine, in diagnostics, we're beginning to use it in screening and in properly being able to segment different types of diagnostic category, and the NHS beginning to use AI in 1 or 2 disease areas to sift through and identify those who should be fast-tracked to see a clinician. And obviously right through in drug discovery, where the AlphaFold developments, the extraordinary pace of the work pioneered by Google is allowing scientists now to use AI to take years out of the traditional drug discovery program. And so it's for that reason that we've announced in that £100 million package last week that we want to go further. And our initial thinking is that 100 million will be deployed in 3 ways. Firstly, to turbocharge each of the existing 8 therapeutic disease missions in the life science strategy. Each of them could do with and needs to show the importance of AI in very different ways. Secondly, we're thinking about AI in terms of diagnostics and screening, and how we can better help make sure that we're detecting earlier and using different both genotypic but also phenotypic data sets, and starting to spot and identify people who may be at higher risk of disease and or want to engage in research. And then thirdly, and most significantly, we're thinking about the breakthrough new frontier area where AI could probably make the biggest impact, which is in neuroscience, neurology, and neurodegenerative disease, dementia. If you look at what's going on in that field, an extraordinary set of improvements since we hosted the G8 Dementia Summit, David Cameron and Jeremy Hunt and myself back in the beginning of the coalition. We're now seeing a number of compounds coming through development for treatment of dementia. But it's also clear that the real prize is going to be for the country that can, the health system that can first put together the technology that will assimilate neural network technology, electro signal mapping, imaging, biomarkers, the deep neuroscience along with digital technologies. And so we're looking at whether we couldn't use this program to create a project here in London, here in the UK, with international partners, where we really move forward the frontier in neuroscience, using AI to assimilate the different traditional disciplines that we've got to create new frameworks and platforms for much quicker diagnosis and treatment. So watch this space. There'll be a raft of working parties and roundtables coming up. But I would be very interested to hear from you in your deliberations where we should and could be using AI more in orthopaedics. So thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you, Keith, for the invitation, and I look forward to hearing what you come up with as soon as I'm back from this summit. Many thanks.